So we're here at one of my favorite times of the year. It's fall, the weather's great, it's cool but not cold, and the crops are off the fields. Maybe you can sort of rotate around there and show, I mean, we've got a big scope of country here that you now have completely accessible to ride in. And this is where a lot of real training takes place, out here in the open. And a lot of times I'll just go out and poke around. Other times I'll do something a little more focused with them. So one of the gifts that we have are the cornfields, which are now harvested, and we can get out in here and ride these rows crossways. And it's amazing how that gets a horse concentrating on where their feet are. You know, you hear about cross rails and so forth. Well, these aren't spaced right, they're not regular, but they make them aware of where their feet are landing and where they're putting them. One thing that I will be looking out for is one of our charming local rodents, the groundhog, that is a burrower, and they put some holes in here that can make it a challenge. But I'm gonna put her on a trot, go down here, take her out through these corn rows and let her pick her way along. See how she handles that. And you can see she's beginning to concentrate, put her head down and be aware of where her feet are. Now this is probably not something you should do with your horse packed up hard in the bridle. In other words, I would much rather have them on a loose rein, because when you have them really collected and on the bit, they're not going to be able to see as well, and they're not going to learn as much. So I'll just take her out, ride her crossways going downhill, crossways going uphill, to where she gets a sense that she's responsible for her own feet. See where her head goes? Then I'll circle back through here, all the while looking out for those groundhog holes. By the way, if you have a little rodent like that in your area that creates a hazard, give me a comment on that from wherever you are. If you're in New Zealand, what do you have in New Zealand? If you're in Norway, what do you have in Norway? So I'm gonna go up so you can see there's a little bank there. There's another bank at the end of this field. I'm probably gonna take her right up that little bank. It's real steep, and let her kind of get acquainted with real life. So it's a steep little bank. I'm gonna let her break down to a walk, negotiate that bank, right back, come down through and pick up the trot, this time downhill. People underutilize downhills and undervalue what you can get done going downhill. She's a little less certain going downhill. Good for her to learn. And I'll cross over here. There's another bank with a ditch after it. All the better for her to learn how to handle herself. So I'm going to see if she can trot this. Had to brake a little there. Then I'll take her out through, and I'll do that a number of times, but after a bit, I'll just take a left and go out through this hayfield. Now we've got miles, literally, if you trot the contours of the fields, you can trot for miles. So I'll just depart this way, and we'll see you next time.